G'day, fella. Just checking out what I'm doing. I don't want to lose the liner because you can chuck stuff in here without worrying about it rusting out your truck bed. This is probably a two-person job, but I'm gonna keep going. Quite an awkward process to do on my own, especially when lifting this unit up into it. He stopped moving because he felt me. I think it's a diamond python, not sure. See, snakes are afraid of us too. But it's not a diamond, it's a carpet. I don't know the difference that much between the diamond python and the carpet python. He's backing up. If he can go in somebody else's yard, that'd be nice. I just don't want him going down into my front yard. He can go through the fence to next door. He's going through the fence in the next door, that's better. There he goes. I think that's a carpet python. The diamond python's got a more distinct diamondy look on the back of it. But I know a few of my neighbours have said that if you've got a python around, at least you don't have to worry about mice or rats because the pythons keep control of them. But I had two concerns about it being around, and like it's just gone next door. It's not like it can't come back through. But if my dogs saw it in the yard, they would probably go nuts. Sam would probably just bark. But Batman can be quite aggressive and protective. And he might try and go the snake, which means the snake would get hurt. It might hurt Sam, but Batman might hurt it. Bit of a catch-up time. A couple of things I've done recently. The amp, I ended up taking the static wheels off it and just putting 4 casters that will swivel, so it rolls beautifully now, and they're all lockable, so whichever one's sticking out I can lock and make that the way it works. Now I've got to get to practicing again, and I think when I first start practicing again on here, I'll probably be using headphones, and I think I said this before, because the next door neighbour's son has been learning guitar, and I've heard him practicing, and he's pretty bloody good. It's quite impressive hearing some of the stuff that he's playing in there. It's not overly loud, it's just that I sit here with my doors and we've only got single pane windows, so sound comes through. Bit of an update on my journaling stuff that I'm doing. I think I mentioned that I'd possibly use this one. I have turned this into my commonplace book, which is, I started using it. I did like set up an index section, as they say to use in these. I used 4 pages for the index just because of how thick this was. And then I just started, if I was watching something on TV or reading something that I wanted to make a note of, or it sparked a thought, that's where this was going. It doesn't get used a lot because it hasn't been my focus, but having that around has been handy, and it's likely to be something that's just here. Diary, which has the calendar template that I put into it, and I actually got to get ready to start this. Like, there's my month, and I can put specific appointments into here, and then setting out the days like this, like the weeks like that, followed by notes on my day-to-day, the journaling part of it. In the most recent week, is this the right one? Yeah. So here's the most recent week. I've got my little tag in here to help me keep it. First page after the week, I started with tasks so that I had them written in here. Like, here's some stuff you've got to get done. And at the start of the day, I write down check tasks. So, oh yeah, what's there to do? And I can cross things off as I go through. And then I start journaling, and because I'm on holidays at the moment, I sometimes journal multiple times. Like, if I've done something and I want to just record what's happened, I write that down now. Especially if, like, I've placed an order for something, I'll write it in here so that when it arrives, I can go back and go, okay, that's how long it took. And one instance is I finally got around to ordering the handrails that my wife found for the front steps, but she wanted me to make sure I measured and ordered the correct amount. So I did all of that. I finally got around to ordering, and I ordered them, I ordered them Tuesday morning. They arrived yesterday morning. Today is Thursday, so they arrived the following day. A little over 24 hours after they were ordered, so that was pretty impressive. Just writing down other things when I've done them, and the intentionality of it, I'm finding, is working. My wife is pretty happy because some things are starting to get done because they're written in here, but I'm not going to carry this everywhere. This is more likely going to be the diary that sits in here and in the bedroom. It goes back and forwards. So I came up with this. This is just a diary, and it's based on, now I can't think of what the name of the website is. Oh, before I head into that, the other things, because this diary has this little pocket thing, or the booklet has this little pocket thing in here, I've got receipts in here, and then one where I've got my fake flexible ruler so I can roll up my weeks each time. But then here's one. I can't remember what this website was called, but it's a way of making up little diaries, and it's a website with a template that you go on, and you basically set out 8 pages. It uses a standard A4 page, and you go through and use the template and say what is going to be in yours, and mine would have a week starting Monday through to Sunday, so the weekdays have bigger days, the weekends have smaller ones. I'm trying to show it without showing some personal stuff that's on there. So this is for next week. So you can see where it says SDD. Staff development days. We've got 2 of them at the start of this next week this year. Monday is still a day off, and you can see like 7, 11 and 12 are coming on Thursday. The whole school will be there on the Friday, and then it's the weekend. So I've got that, and I've got that so that even with this little clear cover, as soon as I pull it out of my pocket, I can see at a glance that's what's happening during the week, anything that's major. You then get into the weekdays, and date or page, little hour sessions set out, 7 a.m. through to 9 p.m. That works for me. I usually go to bed soon after 9, and I'm waking up during the week 5:30, but I'm not really doing anything apart from feeding the dogs and eating my breakfast before 7, which is when I'll leave for work. Pocket mod, that's what it's called, pocket mod. And it's something that's been around for like over 15 years apparently. But the idea is it prints out your page. You do all these little fold in half, fold in halves. You fold it in half, you do all these folds, and then you fold it like this, cut that section, and then fold it out to create your book. So you're going through, and each thing is double thickness. So it just works yourself through the week, and Sunday's your last day. And I had cut up an old display book that I had, made this one little piece of cover, chucked a rubber band around it twice, and it hooks into the middle so that that's in there. And then I just took some extra pages and cut them down and stuck them through the other piece of the folded rubber band, and that's my little task list. So I've got tasks that I've had to do, and I get to cross them off as I go, and that just stays there until it fills up. And the weekly thing gets swapped out every week. I'm using this as, if there's an appointment, it goes in here because it's in my pocket, and if I'm somewhere and they're trying to make another appointment for something, I can quickly open up here. If it's something that's further away, then I'll pull out my phone. I'm still using the calendar in my phone because we use it for work. I use a shared calendar with my wife, and so, but once I write something in my calendar in my phone, I sometimes forget about it unless a reminder blinks up. But looking here intentionally each time is seeming to work. It means that on a Sunday night, I set up for the following week. I go through and I see what things are there. I'm writing down my reminders for things I've got to do personally. What I've done is I print out the month's worth, so I've got them ready. And when it's finished, when a week's finished, I put it into this front pocket because that's more information that goes with my journal. So I'll have a record of things that might have been changed, things that have been done. I find like if I've done something in the yard and I go, right, I want to make a note of that later in my journal, quickly write it in here. And so far it is working really well. I know that this coming Sunday I've got to set up the week. I've already got this little one set up. I've got to set up my month calendar for February, and it's working so far. There's still bits to tweak and change. I'd love to get a smaller pen, which I think I'll go to Officeworks or something like that and have a look, because like at the moment that hooks on, that fits into a pocket, but this pen can be a little bit of a pain. The next thing I've got is I still use one of these that is just a complete catch-all. I might have this with me either around the house. I took it outside when I was working on the truck, putting the cover into the back in case I had to note down some measurements or something like that. While I was out there, there were some plants that have just sprung up in our yard, and I've got a plant identifier app on my phone. So I identified them, I wrote them down in here so I can decide on what to do with them. This is where I did the measurements for the stair rails and that sort of thing. And I also made a little journal note in here as well, because these are things that I won't throw out either, just like my original, what was an art book, became the booklet that I was doing a lot of planning for things that I was working on around the house. And I've got, this is just full, and it's a nice little time capsule of what I was thinking when I was doing things, when I was planning, measuring, anything like that. A Mandalorian one, when I was out in the store, I think it was Coles the other day. I found another one, and it just has the symbol at the bottom. This will might likely be my next diary. But then there was also this one, which says the force is strong, with this little one at the bottom. They're likely going to be my next two home diaries. I'm just getting myself prepared. Oh, I finally opened up my special present for myself. I have done the unboxing video, and what's today, Thursday? I've scheduled it for Sunday, I think. So I better get this up before Sunday. We'll see what else happens. Morning everyone. I have spoiled myself and bought myself a brand new table saw. If you haven't seen my old table saw, you'll understand why this is a pretty exciting moment.